And here we go. All right, so all right, so here's what we're gonna do. Well, it would help if I got the right all the notes. Let me find my notes. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay. I don't know why I'll start with number 7. All right, so today we're going to talk about factoring when A is greater than 1. Okay. I am going to ask that somewhere in here, I'm going to pause probably at about 11, every 8 to 10 minutes or so. Okay. And I want everybody to kind of chime in over on chat and just give me a thumbs up or a, smiley face or something. And okay, yeah, I'm still here. I've got some people that I know are not actually paying attention. So I need to make sure that we're all still with me as I am teaching. All right. So Friday, we talked about factoring trinomials when A was equal to 1. And we talked about using the Xbox and how we did that. Okay. So today we're still going to use the Xbox. We're still going to use GCF sum. But A is going to be greater than 1 for us today. What that means, y'all, is that means this number right here is no longer 1. On Friday, it was 1. And then when we multiplied, we were done. We had our final answer and we were good to go. Okay. Today, it is not going to be 1. So that means we've got to do a couple of extra steps to factor these. Okay. All right. First and foremost, I'm always going to look for the GCF. Now, these steps that I have typed here, if you'll notice, I have them typed on all of my pages for a while and then they just kind of go away. That's kind of a checklist for you. Okay. So I'm going to start at step 1. Let's make sure we cannot factor out a GCF. There is, in fact, no GCF between 4, 9, and 2. Okay, so then number 2 says multiply the number in front of x squared and the number without the x. Don't forget your sign. So we're going to multiply 4 times 2. That's what's going to go in the top of our x. Okay, step 3 says factor, and then the bottom number is going to go into the bottom. Okay, step 3 is factor using our Xbox just like normal. All right, so what we've got here is we've got 8. So we know our factors of 8 are 8 and 1 and 4 and 2. So the only way that I'm going to get a 9 is if I use 8 and 1. Okay, so this is what we did Friday. No big deal. We would write it out. We would write x plus 8 and x plus 1, and we would have been done. Check something real quick. Okay. But if you multiply x times x, if we do the distributive property and we multiply x times x, we get x squared. And that's not what we have. We have a 4x squared. So I am actually going to do what I call the bottoms up method. Okay. We're going to divide both factors by the number in front of x squared. So I need to divide both of these by that 4. Okay. If it goes evenly, wonderful. So right here, 8 divided by 4, that is just 2. But if it doesn't go evenly, meaning 4 doesn't go into 1 at all, and you can't reduce that fraction at all, we're going to do something called the bottoms up method. I'm going to take the bottom and I'm going to slide it up. Some people call it divide and slide. Okay, you divide by it and then you slide it. So that 4 is going to come to the front. Now, if I were to distribute, I would have my 4x squared. This is going to be your final answer. Okay. Let me check my people off real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm checking who's in here. All right. Yes, correct. Okay, so you only have to bottoms up if it does not, basically if it does not divide evenly and it goes away. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Just trying to take my roll, sorry. Okay, so same thing, no GCF. So we're going to start by saying 2 times 3 is going to give me 6, and 7 is going to go on the bottom. Okay, so then what multiplies to give me 6 that can add to give me 7? Well, for 6, we know we've got 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. So to get a 7, I'm going to have to use 1 and 6. Okay, so 1 plus 6, or 1 times 6 gives me 6. 1 plus 6 gives me 7. Okay, so then now over here I would have x plus 1 and x plus 6, but I've got to divide by this 2. Okay, so right here, it's okay, like you were asking, 2 does not go into 1 evenly, so we are going to bottoms up. That becomes 2x plus 1. It does go evenly here, so this just becomes x plus 3. And Kendall, to answer your comment, just FYI, they can give you all the breaks they want to, but you're going to be responsible for knowing the material when you go back into your school year next year. For instance, if we don't go back at all, they still require you to learn what you need to learn to have graduated from Math 1. So that's why we have to do this. Otherwise, you're going to be failing Math 2, and then Math 3, and then Math 4. All right, so let's look at number 3. Okay, so make sure there's no GCF. Again, there's no GCF between 5, 27, and 10. So we're going to start by multiplying 5 times 10. And then 27 goes in the bottom. All right, 50 is a pretty big number. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We've got 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 3 won't work, 4 won't work, 5 and 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 5. Okay, so those are the 3 that we have. Okay, so we're trying to get 27 out of here. So that is going to give us, 2 and 25. Okay, so we've got x plus 2, and we've got x plus, or p, sorry. I'm really bad about that. And p plus 25. I really don't care what letter you use as long as you have the right numbers. Okay, and then we're going to have to divide them by this front runner, which is 5. So it does not go evenly here. So that becomes 5p plus 2 because we bottoms up. And it does go evenly here, so it becomes p plus 5. Okay. All right. So number 4. Okay, now this is a little tricky because of the numbers. Okay, so again, there's no GCF here, so I'm going to multiply. 24 times 3 is going to give me 72, and this is going to give me 22. All right, well, let's see what we can think of. We've got 72 that we know of. Can anybody give me any factors of 72? They don't have to be the biggest ones, just any at all. They don't have to be the right ones. Just give me, like, that added to give me 22. Just give me any numbers that you know multiply to give me 72.
1 and 72.
1 and 72. Good job. Next one. What else? Good job, Xander. All right, 3 and 24. Should be 36, not 34. 2 and 36, 9 and 8. Okay, if I were to stop right here and look, okay, none of these are going to give me a 22. Jeez, 1 and 72 can't give me 22. This could give me a 21 if I subtracted. That doesn't work. Okay, so I need something else. All right, so let's see. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. Let's try 4. 4 goes into 72 how many times? 18. So then you've got, 5 won't work, 6 will work, 6 and 12. Okay, and 7, 8, you got 8 and 9. Okay, so we're good there. So now whenever I want to get 22, the only option I'm going to have is 4 and 18. Okay, so 4 and 18 are going to be the ones that we choose. And that does give me my 22. All right, so pay close attention here because here's where it gets kind of tricky. This should be as complicated as it gets for y'all. Okay, so I need to divide these by 24. All right, now, does 24 go into 4 evenly? No. Does 24 go into 18 evenly? No. Oh, Zion, you're here. Okay. It's fine, Zion. I was just trying to check you off now that you're in here. They don't go evenly, but they do reduce. So 4 over 24 reduces down for us to 1 over 6. And 18 over 24 reduces down to us to 3 over 4. Okay, so basically 4 went into 4 one time, 4 went into 24 6 times. 3 went into 18 3 times. I'm sorry, 6 went into 18 3 times, and 6 went into 24 4 times. So this time you have to bottoms up both numbers. So 6x plus 1 and 4x plus 3. That's as hard as it's going to get, y'all, is if you have to simplify your fractions and bottoms up. All right, are we good so far? We've done 4 of them. All right. Now, first thing you're going to notice here, I'll do through number 5, and then we'll do a sign-in check. All right, on number 5, I'm going to notice that I do, in fact, have a GCF this time. They are all 3 divisible by 3. But remember, I talked about on Friday, I want this number front to be positive. So I'm going to divide by a -3. So I'm going to pull my -3 out front, and that's going to leave me with 3m squared plus 1m minus 4. Okay, so now we can go further from here. So we're going to Xbox this. Now notice, I'm not worried about what I just factored out. I'm going to start with what's in parentheses. 3 times -4 is -12 with 1 in the bottom. Okay, so factors of 12 are going to be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. So in order to get a 3 and in order to get a 1, we're going to use our 3 and our 4. And our 3 is going to be negative because -3 times 4 is -12, and -3 plus 4 is +1. Okay, so we would have m minus 3 and m plus 4, but those have to be divided by the 3. Whatever you multiply by to get this top number, you have to go back and divide by. That's basically what we're doing, y'all. So this gives me an m minus 1, and we'll bottoms up there, and that gives me 3m plus 4. And don't forget to bring down your -3. All right, so do me your check real quick. Everybody just give me a thumbs up or something in my chat so I can make sure we're all still awake. It's my last class of the day. It's not y'all's, I know, but. All right, I'm missing 5 people. See, we caught on to y'all. Y'all be starting my video and then going back to sleep. All right, let's look at number 6. Call out some names. All right, so do we have a GCF between 4, 24, and 32? All right, it is in fact 4. Oh, Kobe came back to his computer. All right, it is in fact 4. Okay, so I'm going to divide the 4 first. The 4 comes out, leaves me with x squared plus 6x plus 8. All right, now this time, whenever I factored out my 4, my a is now 1. So when I do my X box, It's just 1 times 8, which is 8. 6 in the bottom. Okay, my two numbers that'll multiply to give me 8, 1 and 8, or 2 and 4. And the ones that'll add to give me 6 are 2 and 4. So that gives me x plus 2 and x plus 4. Now, this time my front number was 1. Well, if I divide by 1, nothing changes. So y'all, you only have to do the bottoms up if the number you're multiplying by is greater than 1. So that would be your answer there. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. All right. So the next one I have is right here. Okay. So now, is there a GCF between 5, 6, and 1? No, there's not. So we're just going to do 5 times 1 is going to give me 5. 6 goes in the bottom. So the only thing that multiplies to give me 5, y'all, is 5 and 1. So we've got m plus 5 and m plus 1. Okay. And we're going to divide those by our front number that we multiplied by, which is going to give me m plus 1 and 5m plus 1. All right, so grab a scratch piece of paper for me or something, whatever you're writing on. I want y'all to try problem number 8. There's no GCF, so that should make it a little easier. I want y'all to try problem number 8 for me.
Can you go back to the last one you just did? I didn't finish copying it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so y'all are working on problem number 8 for me. All right, so let's see what we got. When you multiply across the top, okay, you would have had 12 times negative 1 is going to give you negative 12 and positive 4. Make sure you've got that negative there. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply. I'm going to give me two numbers that multiply, give me 12, and add to give me 4. Okay, so I know I'm going to choose 6 and 2. Okay, if I need a 4, which one needs to be negative? All right, the 2, in fact, does need to be negative. Good job. Okay, so that gives me x plus 6 and x minus 2. But those are going to have to be divided by 12. Again, this is as hard as it gets right here because you have to reduce your fractions. So 6 divided by 12 is going to reduce down to 1/2. And 12 or 2 divided by 12 is going to reduce down to 1/6. Now you can bottoms up. Okay. All right, everybody good? Okay, let's try number 9. All right, so 7 times 3 is going to give me 21 with a negative 10. All right, see what you get on the side there. Good job, Timothy. Double check y'all's signs whenever, because the signs do matter. Okay, so I need a 21 and I need a negative 10. All right, good job. Negative 7 and negative 3. Okay, in order to get that negative at the top, we got to multiply a positive at the top, 2 negatives, and then add to get a negative at the bottom. So we've got e minus 7 and e minus 3. Those have to be divided by 3. So we bottoms up here, and this turns into 1. Okay, like I said, factoring is going to be huge for y'all and the rest of your classes this year. Or I mean next year. Actually, all of them in your high school career. Math 2, Math 3. I'm factoring in Math 3 in Math 2 right now. Okay, and I know we factor again in Math 3. So factoring is going to be very prominent in all of your math classes in high school. All right, let's try number 10. Give you a couple seconds, a minute or so to try number 10. All right, so Timothy said 11 and negative 3, and he is absolutely correct. 11 times negative 3 gives me negative 33, and 11 minus 3 gives me positive 8. So I've got x plus 11 and x minus 3. So we bottoms up here, and I get 3x plus 11, and then this turns into x minus 1. All right. Let's jump to, all right, let's do this one more problem real quick, and then we'll call it a day on notes. All right, let's try this one right here. Okay, so the first thing you need to recognize is you do have a GCF of 2. Okay. Now we're going to do 6 times negative 4 gives me negative 24 and 5. Okay. So then that's going to be 8 and negative 3. 8 times negative 3 gives me negative 24. 8 plus negative 3 gives me 5. Okay, so I've got x plus 8 and x minus 3. All right, so here's what I'm saying. You're going to divide by the 6. The 6 is what you multiplied by to get the 24. So you go back and divide by that. Okay, you're going to reduce both of these down. This is going to become 4 over 3. And this is going to become 1 over 2. And then your last step would be to bottoms up. And don't forget your GCF like I almost did. All right. Any questions for me on this? This is what your homework's on, okay? So just real quick, let me see if I have a copy of your homework up here. So many papers, y'all. Okay, so here's your homework right here. Okay, worksheet 39. All right, you're going to see 1 through 10 are all factoring, okay? Always look for a GCF first. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. All of those have a GCF. So you need to factor out the GCF first before you factor anything else. Okay. And then 11, 12, and 13 are our old word problems that we just need to kind of review on. I do have a worksheet 39 video that I will post into your Google Classroom today. Yes, if you'll get worksheet 38 turned into me today, that would be great. Then I can post all that tomorrow on our off day. Just make sure that y'all are sending it to me either through Google Classroom or attaching it in an email. I have got so many emails from kids with pictures of it, which is fine. Just like I said, it takes me a minute to get everything printed out. I do have to actually do that on my own and grade it on my own and do stuff like that. But I want to be able for you to see what you did wrong before so that you can follow along with me whenever I correct it on the video. All right, if y'all have any questions, make sure you're sending those to me. Is Xavier still in here? Xavier, where your boy at? Where's they at? Zion, where's they at? Yeah. I'm gonna need y'all to get Zay in here. You got me? Let's see who else. Isaiah's usually here. Isaiah's not in here today, is he? All right. So anyway, make sure y'all are checking in. Make sure y'all are doing what you're supposed to get it sent to me, and I will see y'all again on Wednesday. But I will post some stuff tomorrow for you. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful Monday.
Did Noah come today?
No, he wasn't in there.
Okay, I hadn't seen him. Just that one time.
Yeah, him nor Bree were in there today.
Okay, I'll try to send emails and call.
That's fine.
Oh my!
Don't stress it.
I don't stress it. I'll talk to you later.
All righty.
Bye.